Hello, everyone. You're welcome. Good evening, good day, wherever you're joining us from whichever part of the world you are joining the stream. Thank you for taking out time to be part of the third edition of the Free Flow Creative Ops webinar. And this is hosted by the academic arm of Free Flow Creative Up. Yes, we'll be starting in a moment, and what we'll be discussing today is very, very topical, and it's something that I believe will change the way you continue your work from this webinar onward. So wherever you're joining us from, kindly drop it in the comment section. Let's know where you're joining us from. Let's know how you are feeling today. Okay, that's a quick mood check-in so that we're all on the same page. Okay, so drop it in the comment section. I'll be waiting to read that as we launch into the webinar proper. So if you're coming across Free Flow Creative Hub for the very first time, what we do at Free Flow Creative Hub is simply helping individuals and brands express themselves through creative branding, creative publishing, and the academic arm, which of course the academic arm is hosting this webinar today. All right, so you are already dropping that in the comment section. That's great. Okay, so we'll run. Let's run now. Are you ready? Bring out your notepads, whenever you jot something, so that as the words are eating you, you'll be able to don't just write everything. Okay, things that you feel really, really apply to your life. Those are the things I want you to write down. Are we ready? Okay, now let's run. Today we'll be discussing originality, standing out in the copy and paste word. Okay, originality is a word that I feel a lot of people are familiar with. If you look at that, you say copy, key. I want you to know that each one of us is an original. Okay, and that the first thing that comes to your mind is the fact that, are there some people that are duplicates? Do we have fake people in this world? Well, I must tell you that wherever you are, wherever you're living, you are original. Some people don't have this understanding, and you can see it in the way they live their life. They believe, well, they are just here, they're just some random person out there in the world, they're just another person on the street. But you watching this, I want you to know that you are not just a person, you are an original. Like God intentionally put a lot of thought into creating you. And that's why you see we have unique DNA. We have our DNA sequences are unique, right? We used to say our thumbprints too is unique. Okay, because you can have two persons with the same thumbprint, and that's why the patterns are different. If you really check, you see that the patterns are different, and we have traits that are unique to each individual. I also want you to know that nobody is more original than you. Okay, if you can put that in the comment section, write it there. Nobody is more original than I am. Some people think, well, maybe a white person is more original than them. I say no. A white person is not more original, in quote, than a black person. Someone giving birth through natural birth, okay, it's not more original than someone delivered through surgery. Okay, if you are born into a rich home, it doesn't make you much or more original than someone that was born into a poor home. So each one of us is an original, and nobody is more original than you. So if you have this understanding, it will really help us in this webinar. We'll be able to move into the core of what we are here to learn. And even when God was forming the woman, okay, some people will say, maybe the woman is a clone or a copy of the man from the book of Genesis, from the Bible. Well, when God was making woman, the biblical account said that God took a rib from Adam, and that's the only element that God took from Adam, is just the rib. All other elements that went into making the woman was original and unique. And the final product that God made her into a unique variant, okay, with unique abilities. And that's why people will clamor that they want to be, man is supposed to be directly and proportionally equal to woman. They don't understand what they are saying. God put it, we're all unique in our different ways. And that's what you have to know as we launch into the very first aspect of what we are here to check: the war against your uniqueness. Now, I've established the fact that you are unique in your own way. Look at the image we have there. You see, all the other people look black, and then we have somebody standing out in the middle. And the only reason why we're able to focus on that character is the fact that there's something different about that character. And all of us can see. I mean, it is obvious. Now, but the question I need to ask you is this: are you aware of the forces that are fighting against your uniqueness? I think the problem of awareness is one of the very first problems that a lot of people have. They are not aware. And if you don't know that there are forces fighting against your uniqueness, how are you going to fight back? That's the question. So the question is, are you aware of the forces that are trying to force you into a mold, into a shape, okay, that you are not meant to fit in? I want you to think about that. Let's proceed. Now, the first part is this: what are those forces? The first one is the ease of copy and paste. The and paste. You know, I said it earlier. You just press a button, you copy, press another button, you paste, and you are done. So what that person is, what that thing is, you just picked it, hook, line, and sinker, and then you dropped it. Well, that works for instances where all you need is just basic duplication. But when it comes to you as a person, the ease of copy and paste shouldn't reduce you to a copier or a photocopier. You know, there are some people, we should just, all the photocopier and all of those machines that make photocopies, we should just resign those machines and put those people there, because they just like to copy. They just pick someone's WhatsApp status, they just put it there without imputing anything. They just want it, you know, they just feel what the person have said is perfect, and that's it. And sometimes it's not even, they didn't even think about it. It's just their natural state to just copy and paste. So A did this in this certain way, and I am B. I just apply it without even changing anything. Whether that thing applies to me or not, I don't care. I just apply it. So A did this in this way, and B simply replicates that without even adding anything. So it's very easy. So the ease of copy and paste is fighting against your uniqueness. It's not making you to be as unique as you are supposed to be. Okay? Because Ctrl C and Ctrl V, very, very easy to execute. Very, very easy to execute. So the second thing is the natural flair that humans have for easy things. Our natural flair for easy things. Someone once said that human beings are inherently lazy. That it's just in our natural makeup for us to be lazy. That people you see that are hardworking, they are hardworking because something else is pushing them out of that lazy state. Okay, so humans are inherently lazy until we are pushed by other factors. And you see many people that you see today that they are very, very hardworking. Some of them, once they find a cheat code out of being hardworking, you just see them, they go lazy. They also want to follow the shortcut that everyone is following. And that's when you start to see the lazy side of them. Another thing is the lure of conformity to standards. Okay, you are being tempted to conform to the standards that are already on ground. The appeal that comes with you knowing that, okay, if I do this thing this way, this is how it's supposed to, you know, to show up. And so because of that, because that has been standardized, I wouldn't even think of doing it another way, even if there's a better way to do it. And that is wrong. That is wrong. You don't just do everything because that's the way they've always, you know, done it, or just because there's specific results you want to generate, and you say, okay, if you do this in this way, it will happen the way it used to happen. And that could be fighting against your uniqueness. So blending in has always felt easier than standing out. And that's it, because when you stand out, more attention comes on you, and you just say that the spotlight is on you, and you feel, well, the whole world is watching me now. So for people who are not ready to take up that challenge, they just try to blend in because that's the easier route. Everyone is doing it. Let me do it too. It doesn't bite, right? Yes. Another thing fighting against your uniqueness is the fear of negative reaction or public judgment. You don't want people to raise eyebrows. You have a different opinion, but you keep it inside because why? You don't want anyone to say something negative to you. On social media, you don't want to type the thing that is actually in your mind because if you say it, because it conflicts with a lot of other people's perspective, then you feel, well, they're going to drag me. So because they are going to drag me, let me hold back and not say what I know as truth. Okay, so you do it the way it has always been done without any improvement at all. And this is one of the things that lead to self censorship. You are censoring yourself even before you go out there in the world. That's why some people's idea have not seen the light of the day. They just keep censoring themselves. They are filtering out. They think that is their originality. They filtered it out. And because of that, they blend in and they're on the usual platter with everyone else. And that's a problem. And that's a war against your uniqueness. Another thing is social media. Oh, this is very, very, very rampant in our society today. Because social media is pushing different narratives, different propaganda, different agendas, and all of these things are being propagated by the media. And so they want all of us to think the same way. They want us to reason the same way about certain subject matters. They do it in such a way that people don't even have to think too deep about certain things that pertain to human life. But because, oh, influencer A has said this, B said the same thing, C said the same thing, and because of that, they just accepted that that's the truth. They just accepted it as the universal truth, which is always not the case. So that could also be fighting against your uniqueness. Okay? Everyone doesn't have to think the same way. If everyone is thinking the same way, a lot of inventions that we have in the world today would not have seen the light of the day. Somebody must think differently. Okay? Another thing is just know that anything that hinders you from critical thinking is fighting against your uniqueness. Anything that does not allow you to really think deep, that thing is actually fighting against your uniqueness. Because without critical thinking, you can't come up with anything unique. You can't come up with something original. You just pick something on the surface and you remain on the surface. You are not going any deeper. So what other people have said, what other people have seen is the same thing you are also seeing and saying. And that's the problem. You are blending in, you are not standing out. So anything at all, maybe your friend, maybe the association you belong to, maybe the people that you work with, you collaborate with, as long as they stop you from thinking critically, then you can consider them as one of the forces fighting against your uniqueness. Don't forget where I started. You are unique in your own way, and how your uniqueness is not a problem. It's actually an asset. We'll still get there. Okay, we'll get there in the course of this webinar. It's an asset that you have to maximize. Okay, we are not meant to just accept anything the way they throw it at us. No, 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 no. And the moment you start accepting everything the way it's being thrown at you, then you are not unique any longer, and then you don't have this deep thinking anymore. You can think it through for yourself, and you just accept anything being thrown at you. Okay, now the last thing I will mention is the force of unhealthy competition or comparison. You see, when you start feeling that, oh, this person is doing well more than I am, Babjossy is doing so well more than I am. It's not like I can do what he's doing too, but this guy, this, and because of that, that becomes your reality. And then you start to have what we call identity fatigue. You start getting tired of who you are. That's identity fatigue. Just be like, well, maybe I don't have much resource. Maybe I don't have that much substance. Maybe I'm not meant for greatness. You start thinking of those things. And that will not make you to be unique anymore. The next thing you'll be doing is you want to become like Babjossy. That will be your next agenda. And that's wrong. That's wrong. You have to be you. You don't have to be Wale Soyinka. You don't have to be Chimamanda Adichie. You don't have to be Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You don't have to be Barack Obama. You don't have to be Trump. You have to be you. And that's what matters. When you bring your uniqueness to play, you see how a lot of other people will also want to be like you. Okay? So you have to fight this war consciously. The key word there is consciously. Like you have to be very, very conscious. Please, someone should type in the comment section. Fight this war consciously. I want to see you type that. Yes. Fight this war consciously. You have to fight the war against your unique. You have to be conscious. It is a conscious effort to get this thing done. And I want you to know that the things that actually make you unique, that thing that you feel is weird, that thing that you feel makes you different, those are actually your highest asset in this world where algorithm is just pushing everything. Have you thought about the things that make up the trends? Trends are made up by a uniqueness that someone brings to play. And because they bring that uniqueness to play, other people find it valuable enough to recreate it. And the moment they start recreating that uniqueness, it becomes a trend. And over time, the trend loses its originality. But the origin of that trend, of whatever trend you have ever jumped on, is somebody bringing their uniqueness to play. So the question is, why can't you also be a trend setter? That's the question. So there are some of you that you are throwing away that thing that makes you unique. Don't throw it away. No, 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 no. That might be the next big deal. That is an asset that the world needs. The world needs your originality. We'll still get there. Let's move on. Now, the second aspect of this, how do you say no to unproductive uniformity? Look at that picture. You have houses built the same way, the same color, the same structure. Now, if everyone in the world builds their houses this way, we won't have any variety. And houses like this will not work in some parts of the world. You think about, okay, if it rains, how does it drain? Okay, now you see the way they build the houses very, very close to each other. That is a style that does not work in other cultures. A particular culture might have this, but in other cultures, does not apply. Now, unproductive uniformity. So we have unproductive and we have uniform. So this happens when a group or an organization, when you start to prioritize consistency and sameness at the expense of progress, creativity, and problem solving. Okay, when you start to prioritize, okay, let's everybody just be consistent. We just want the same thing to happen over time at intervals. It's just the same thing we want to see happening. Sameness. You now sacrifice that, you put that on the altar of progress. Sameness over progress, Sameness over creativity. Sameness over actually solving the problem that's on ground. That's a problem. Now, when we all think and act and create in very similar ways, you know what happens? Our collective blind spot is being magnified. It means that all of us will be blind to certain aspects. Like all of us will be blind to that aspect. So, not engaging or saying no to unproductive uniformity is what helps us to reduce those blind spots. A lot of people are blind to a lot of things, and that's because everyone is looking at the same direction. We're all looking at the same direction, and that's unproductive uniformity. So the question you should ask is, why should I go for functional when I can attain exceptional. You just want the things to be functional, okay? But what if you can achieve much more results than you're achieving at the moment? That's a very, very good question to ask. I want you to type it in the comment section. Why go for functional when I can attain exceptional? Type it there. Why? Now, for people in the corporate space, you see rigidity there, you see sameness, because they just want to maintain brand consistency. So they remain the same throughout many years. And you could hear a top executive saying something like, we've already done it this way. We've already done it this way. What are they saying indirectly? Don't even try to get creative. Don't try to get ideas. Just do it that same way and there's no problem. That's problematic in itself. What if there are better ways of doing that thing? Now, in the creative space, you see people who are masters at following viral aesthetic trends. Their own is just, they are waiting for the next trend to come out and then they recreate the trend. They can sit down and cook something up. You just want to recreate every time they create something that has already been created. Why that's a creation in itself? It has reduced in originality. So if you do that, you jump on that trend, well, you can get you more views, but that still doesn't mean it's your best. You see, it's not your best. Okay, now I also want you to understand that productive uniformity also exists. What exists is not only unproductive uniformity. We also have productive, we have some uniformity that are productive. Okay, and these are uniformities that are focused on aspects that actually lead to progress. For instance, I included the reason why the world is now moving towards using USB-C ports in all devices. USB-C ports in all devices. Making sure that all the phones that are coming out now, they all want to use USB-C. And the aim is interoperability. Okay, the fact that you can use the same port, the same cord for so many gadgets. And that's why we see that it's a very, very great idea today, where you see from your gadgets, your laptops, to your web cameras, and all of these things, they are all using USB-C. And that's beautiful. That's a productive uniformity. But now, another thing you have to note is that you don't need your uniqueness when you are deciding, okay, whether or not you want to stop for red light. You don't need your uniqueness for that. You all know that red means stop, yellow means wait, green means go. You don't have to be creative about that. Just obey. Just follow all the. If you see other cars, they already stopped at the red light, you also stop. You don't need your uniqueness in quote in that scenario. Okay? You don't need your uniqueness for getting to work at a set time. The time for work is, for instance, 8 a.m. You have to be there. You don't need to say, okay, I'm a unique person. I like to come by 11:30. Oh, you'll be out of job in no time. So know when this applies and when it does not. There are certain uniformities that are actually productive. They lead to results, and you also have to comply. But in most cases, we have unproductive uniformity, becoming rampant in our world. Now, how do you say no? How? How do you say no to unproductive uniformity? The first one is you can politely excuse yourself from people or groups that are extremely, note the word extremely, people that are extremely conservative and they're not open to new ways of doing things or even the possibility of doing things better. There are people like that. They don't think about the possibility of doing things better. Okay, they are extremely conservative. They just want things to remain the same way that's remained for the last 30 years. No, no, no. You have to excuse yourself from those groups because they will hinder your progress. They will kill your unique, that unique flavor that you carry. Your uniqueness will be killed by these people, by this group. You won't progress. Especially if you are a creative person, you have to run. Please, someone type in the comment section, run, run, run for your life. Because they will kill your creative life. Okay, are you still following me? The second thing is you have to be the divergent. You have to be the divergent. I don't know how many people have seen the Divergent series. We have Divergent, Allegiant, and I think it's Insurgent. Okay, it's a trilogy. It's a book which has been adapted into a movie. And in that, it's a science fiction. In that world, you see five castes. Okay, like five tribes. We have abnegation, we have amity, we have the candor, we have dauntless, and we have the erudite. So when you grow up to, I think, 16 years, if I'm not wrong, then you are asked to make a choice of which tribe to belong to. Okay, you make a choice of which tribe to belong to, and that will be your tribe. You have to do everything those tribes are doing. While that is good, while that shows an organized society, it's still limiting. It's like you put people in a box and you say they can only be one thing at a time. And that's why we have trees. The character trees was a divergent. When they tried to put her in any of the casts, she couldn't fit in because she's just a divergent. She could be dauntless at a time, and another time she could be candor. Okay, sometimes she could be selfless, like people from abnegation, and some other times she could be erudite, she could be intelligent. So if you now try to box people like that, it works well for the government that want to keep people controlled, but for the progress of the human society, we have to have different people with different abilities, and they have to be able to express them. So you have to be the divergent. Somebody should type in the comment section, be the divergent. Yes, in Yoruba, there's a proverb they say, if they want to they want to throw jabs at people, they will say, "Gbogbo yin ẹ̀sùn ẹ kọrí síbì kan náà." Meaning you all sleep in the same direction. You sleep and your heads are all turned to the same direction, which is a way of saying all of you you are not wise. You are not wise. All of you are thinking alike. You have the same thinking, and you are, that's wrong. That is not unity. Some people try to erroneously call it unity. It's not unity. It is limitation. You are limiting the potentials of people. And that's why you have to be the divergent. You have to be the one that will say, I will stand out for what is right. I will stand out for what is actually correct, what is original. Let's move on. Now, how do you reject the culture of mental laziness? You have to agree with me that mental laziness is now a big problem in our world. We have a lot of people, especially Gen Zs and the generation before them and the newest generation now. It's getting worse every day. People are becoming much more mentally lazy than ever in human history. Of course, mental laziness had always existed, but it's now on an alarming scale. Very, very alarming scale. Now, what is mental laziness? It's simply the tendency for you to avoid in-depth thinking. Is when you don't want to think deep. That's it. You don't want to analyze. Okay? You just prefer quick and simple solutions to your problem, especially complex problems. Once you think about it, they send something to your WhatsApp and you see that this thing is not straightforward. There's a mental something in your head just rumbles. You just want the easiest way out, the easiest way out. That is mental laziness. You don't want to do any deep thinking. Okay? You are avoiding it consciously with all your mind. You just don't want to do any much, in-depth thinking. And that's laziness, cognitive laziness. You are lazy in terms of thinking. Okay? Another thing we also mean when you are relying too much on readily available information while you are resisting the challenging ones. While you are resisting the challenging ones. Okay? Instead of picking the one that will challenge your head, okay? Instead of picking the one that will challenge your thinking, that will challenge, that will rumble your brain, you just pick information that is easily available. You just pick the easily available ones. Please ask the person, ask someone in the comment section, are you relying on readily available information? Are you relying on readily available information, or you actually go for the challenging ones? Okay, do you go for the challenge? Let's proceed. Now, the thing that this guy Boris Krieger, he calls it cognitive bias. When you have the likelihood to settle for information that reinforces the belief system that you already had, your existing belief systems. Okay, you now pick the information that reinforces that belief system. Okay, instead of engaging with ideas that actually challenge your perspective. Okay, instead of you engaging with the one that will actually make you be like, oh wow, this is a new idea. Okay, you just pick the one. Once they tell you, oh, this, you just pick the one that easily aligns with what you already believe, and you believe that, okay, I've done my research, this is it. That's a cognitive bias. You are just biased based on your existing belief systems. Okay, and that's one of the things that cause mental laziness. And now, in the age of information overload, wow, we all know we are in an age where there's information overload. There's too much information going around, too much information circulating in the media. Anywhere you turn to, they're just loading us with loads of information. And this has also led to the culture of mental laziness. A lot of people are mentally lazy because there's too much information available, more than their brain can actually process, such that their brain simply wants to, just want to conserve the mental resources. And then you now prefer mental shortcuts. You just want something that will, you know, something that will just easily cut the process short so that you won't have to go the long route. And see, the more you prefer mental shortcuts, the more mentally lazy you are. The more you embrace the culture of mental laziness. It means you are lazy in your cognitive processes. You can't think things through. And that's it. You can't just think things through. You are mentally lazy. You have cognitive bias. Now, what are the instances? What are the instances? Now, for example, you see people accept commonly held beliefs. Okay, men has come, for instance. You say men has come. And somebody I think I'll just take that slide again. I'll just take that slide again. Okay. I was saying that you have people who just accept everything that the algorithm shows them, and that's mental laziness. I've also mentioned that when you outsource your thinking to others, instead of doing your preliminary thinking, you just outsource it to people. You just type to your friend quickly, I need this. Instead of you even sitting down and doing 1 minute thinking about that thing, you just go straight to outsourcing your thinking. And I said the worst is people who outsource their thinking to AI. AI is a product of artificiality. I also said when the mic went off, I said Gemini AI, if you open the app, under it, it was written Gemini is AI and can make mistakes. Okay, that means the creator, they understood that there are limitations to their model of AI. And that's it. Whether you are using Claude, you are using ChatGPT, you are using Gemini, or any of these other language models, you discover that they are all limited. So, and AI lies a lot. So don't even think about outsourcing your thinking to all of these language models. Don't outsource your because you soon run into trouble. Now, another set of people who are mentally lazy are people who they dismiss an idea because they just think, this thing is too complex for my head, this thing is too complicated for me. And it's just because they can't think it's true, it's not that complex. But they won't even make any attempts. They just want to throw it, they just want to get answers easily. And that is also mentally are people who they stop refining their skill, they stop learning more once the project they are working on gets to the barest minimum. Once they've achieved something little like this, they feel, wow, I'm now on top of the world. Now I can relax. Now I can. No, that's wrong. You don't stop refining your skill or that project the moment that you discover that it has made the barest minimum. What you should actually aim for is, how can I become better at this craft? How can I become better at this thing that I'm already doing? And that will make a whole lot of difference in your life. And lastly, you see the people who will say they have short attention span. 18-year-old boy or girl has short attention span. 30-year-old man. Okay, I think I'm back now. So you really have to take note of these things. You really have to take note of these things. You don't say you have short attention span. You are 30 years old, you are 35 years old, you are 20 years old, and you are saying you have short attention span. No, no, no. You don't have short attention span. You are actually mentally lazy. And all you need to do is to build mental capacity. Okay? You just have to build mental capacity. All right. So let's proceed. Now, what's the way out? You have to be ready to put your brain under pressure. Yes, I know that's hard for a lot of people, but it will be productive in the end. Let it be your second nature to always think things through, to always think hard. And thinking is not something hard to do. All you have to do is sit down, start looking at different perspectives. Okay, what about I see it from the angle of A? When you are done with that, what about the angle of B? Okay, if I put myself in the shoe of this person, how is you're already doing proper thinking? You are considering different alternatives. That's when you are doing deep thinking. And you sit down, you take a time out to think about that, and now you are being intentional. Another way out is don't accept first answers. No, 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 don't just accept first answers. No, that's wrong. You ask for something, some of you just Google search, the first answer that pops up, that's the final answer. That's wrong. Do you know that a lot of lies on the web? If you start doing research, you know that people tell lies and they post it on the web. And that's one of the reasons why you cannot even trust AI. We'll still get there. Because AI feeds on all of those things and it also gives back the garbage that it takes in. Okay? So don't accept first answers. Dig deep. Seek for more answers and then you will avoid mental laziness. Another thing is don't fall for the easiest way out because they are not always the best. I can tell you that enough. The easiest way out are not always the best. So look the other way. Another way out is you have to start what we call active consumption versus passive consumption. Don't consume content passively. Don't just be scrolling on Instagram. They're just suggesting whatever they like to you every time. On TikTok, you are just scrolling. The algorithm just suggests whatever. No, that's wrong. Do active consumption. Okay, I want to learn something about coding, for instance. That's what I will search for. Okay, I need something to entertain me about family drama. Search for it. Okay, I need to learn more about okay, I need a vendor to get me this. Search for it. That's active consumption. You are choosing what you consume. It's not the algorithm that is doing all the decision of what do you want to consume for you. So that is active. You are actively involved in the process. You are not passive. You are not just saying, algorithm, just give me anything you like. And trust the algorithm. It will keep suggesting different things. You can keep scrolling for 10 hours and the algorithm will not be tired of giving you different contents that it feels you would like to watch. Okay. Now, another thing is make sure you are asking questions. You can't go wrong if you ask questions. Okay, interrogate things, ideas, people, do your research. Those are the ways by which you can build your mental capacity. You have to build the mental. I know. This thing I'm saying will not be easy for some people, but start practicing it. Start practicing. Have a thinking time. Start practicing it. It will get better along the way. Okay. You always make sure you are doing something that disturbs your. See, your brain wants convenience. Your brain wants to just stay there and be enjoying itself. But you have to do something to break that habit. Read that book. That book that you always stop at chapter 2. Force yourself to read it to the end. That's when you are building mental capacity. That's when you stop being mentally lazy. Don't dare drop it. Read that book. Someone should put it in the comment section. Tell that person, read that book. Read that book. Read it to the end. Okay? Read it to the end. Now, how can you effectively use templates? You see the picture we have there? We have different templates of door handles or door hanger. Okay, we call it door hanger. You just put it, if you've been to all of these hotels, you see it at the door. Okay. Now we have 8 samples here. That doesn't mean all the designs you can do in the whole world is just 8. These are merely templates. Okay. And templates are designed to just be your starting point. They are just to be a guide for you in the right direction. Not that once you see the template, you shall want to do something that fits into the template. No, that's wrong. That's a bad way of using templates. And you know, templates are not bad until they are misused. Misuse happens almost every time. If you go online, you see some, I'm a designer, so I know. If you pick a template from freepick.com and you run your content through it, you produce something in the end, when we that would know, when we see it, we will know that this is the template you used. And that reduces your aura. Yes, it reduces your professionalism. We already know you are a baby designer because you just picked the template and you just edited the name and the titles, the title order, change the picture, and then you say you are done. The concept remains the same. That's the wrong way of using the template. Okay, and that's why we have identical products, identical results everywhere. Some of the cons of templates is that they can stifle your creativity. Instead of you to think deeper and longer and go in another direction, they limit how creative you become. Another one is that they can limit your customization ability. There are some of those templates you can't customize them much. Just do little customization, basic things, and that's it. And of course, it all results in identical designs, which is not, advisable. So how do you effectively use templates? Number one, use them as mood boards instead of just actual templates. Instead of using them as actual templates, use them like mood board. Just use them to gather inspiration. Okay, pick that template, let it just be your inspiration. Oh yes, you check 2 or 3 templates, then from the inspiration you get, you now produce something creative, you now produce something original. And that is when you are using those templates in the right way. I want you to also note that templates that do it all and they only require you to just have very little input, those are bad for you. You won't grow. If you're a designer, you keep using all of those templates, you won't grow. If you're a writer, you keep using all of those prompts and templates, you won't grow. Of course, you still be producing things, but you won't grow. You won't be unique. People won't see your originality. You have to grow into it. And that's something to take note of. So use templates in such a way that whoever sees the final output cannot know that this is the template you used. That's when you are using that template well. Okay? The person that even created the template should actually look at your final output 4, 5, 6 times before knowing that, this person used my template. That's a very, very good user of templates. So I want you to put it in the comment section. Easier is not always better. Yes, type it there. Easier is not always better. Now, this is the last part of this webinar. Okay? This is the last part, and I want you to listen very, very carefully. How do you embrace AI? We are in a copy and paste world. We are also in the world of AI, artificial intelligence. But how do you embrace AI without carrying its baggage? You see the picture of AI used here. It's like a human being, but it's codes and data that are, entering into the head of that being. So it's not human. It's just a product of artificiality. Now, I want you to first know that AI is here and it will get crazier. It will. Oh, there was a time when the first generation of those models that generate image, when they started, when they make pictures, you see that the fingers may be 6, there will be distortion, but now you don't see that anymore because they've advanced. They've released newer models that are more advanced. They have advanced capabilities. So AI is still going to get crazier. Some of those things we think Claude AI is doing now, other models will still come out that will even do crazier things. So just know that and have peace. Okay? Because AI will keep gaining traction by helping you to get things done easily or faster. But there's a catch. And the catch is that while it's helping you to get things done faster, it homogenizes our output. That is, it makes our output look the same. It turns it into a single mono output. And it reduces our general creativity. Do you think you tell AI, you prompt AI to make it original, write it like a human being? You are just deceiving yourself. AI will change the wordings, but it's still the same content. There's nothing original that will enter into that piece because AI is just feeding from the model, the language, and all of this data that has been fed into that system of codes. So don't expect anything original from AI. AI is just, in fact, I know some people that were trying to they were trying to sue an AI company that their AI is using some of their own intellectual property to reply to people. That's it. AI is not wise by itself. It's feeding on those outputs that are already out there. Okay, now I want you to take note of the fact that the availability of AI, artificiality, is all the more reason why original thinking is needed. The more AI advances, the more the need for creative thinkers, original thinkers. Because what we just have now is regurgitation. We just have the same thing being repeated over and over, using different words to repeat the same thing. Nothing original anymore. So we need original thinking. So I'm not asking you not to use AI. Use AI, it's good. Artificial intelligence is very, very good. It will make your life easier, but use them for basic brainstorming, basic tasks. Don't use them more than basic level. If you need to really do real thinking, don't even include AI. Make sure you've finished all your thinking process before you even ask anything from that AI model. Okay, that's when you are using AI well. You can use AI to do basic drafting, and then you now rework on what AI has worked on, and that's when you have your better outputs. Like I said the other time, AI is hugely unreliable. You can't rely on AI for any reason. Now, I'll quickly list 5 things. Number one, AI will give you fabricated facts. I remember a time when I was writing a project, I asked AI to give me the sources, references. Do you know AI was fabricating scholars that don't exist? And he was putting years to it, and he even put one fake link that looks like original link. Until I had to cross-check each of those links, I discovered that there were no scholars bearing those links. And of course, there have been reports of that all over the social media where AI was basically fabricating, telling lies. And that is what we call ghost citation. You are citing a ghost, somebody that does not exist. You are saying the source of this information is from this person. That's wrong. AI will also give you mixed information because it's feeding from mixed sources. So expect mixed information. Expect garbage in, garbage out. All the rubbish that is on the internet, AI will feed on it. And when you ask AI that question, AI will also give you what it fed on. And that's the truth. Okay. We also have model collapse because AI is now training on other content that have already been AI generated. Imagine AI feeding on something that was AI generated. So it's the same rubbish that they will keep reprocessing and recycling. And that's the truth. Also, AI is trained on biased data. An AI that is trained on biased data will definitely give you biased results, which is very, very wrong. Now, how do you do it that you don't carry the baggage of AI? Number one, always challenge the thinking of AI. Don't believe AI is giving you the best thinking. Always challenge it. If AI tells you this, know that that is not the final. Do your other findings and then you'll be good. Also, don't over trust AI. I see some people, AI is not their confident. AI is their professor. AI is everything. Is their doctor, is their nurse. AI is their counselor. No, 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 no. That's wrong. Don't over, never use AI for critical decision making. Some people, you want to make life choices. AI is that. I saw online there's an AI model that a guy was chatting to. The guy said, "Oh, I'm tired of life. I want to commit suicide." The first response of AI is, "Oh, you should not commit suicide. It's not good. Things can change." Something like that. That sounds motivational. But the guys now replied and said, "I've made up my mind, and there's no going back. How do I kill myself?" Then AI gave him 5 ways of killing himself. You see, you want to replace AI with human being. That's wrong. I've also seen a movie like that where it's the AI that is giving them all the go ahead, all the, you know, it's just what it is. Okay, so treat AI output as mere opinion rather than fact. Don't, anything AI gives you, it's not fact. Treat it as mere opinion until you fact check. And I say always fact check so that you know what is true. And now, as I end this webinar, this is a call to action. This is a call to return to your originality. There's something unique about it that you have to return to. And that's why I say the world needs originality now more than ever. The fact that there are a lot of fakes, a lot of duplicates, a lot of copy and paste around there is the more reason why we need you to really be creative and original in your thinking. Do you know that we don't need more light where there is already the sun? If you have enough light generated by the sun, we don't need all of these bulbs and LED lights. We don't need them. But where the world keeps getting darker, that's where your light can shine brighter. Where the world gets darker, that's where your light can shine brighter. So you have to be, this is now is the time where you have to focus on your originality, your uniqueness. Trust me, you have to, this is the time. There's no better time. Now that we have a lot of rubbish all over, this is the best time to bring out your best leg, and to put forth your best leg and give us original thinking and original output, not recycled rubbish. Okay, and the more that AI exists at copying and reproducing everything all around, that's the more valuable human creativity becomes. If you say AI will take my job, as a writer, AI cannot take my job. AI can never write the way I will write. Okay, so my creativity is very, very valuable. Okay. And lastly, that thing that you feel, this thing is a bit weird, is a bit strange, don't throw it away. Please put it in the comment section. Don't throw it away, because it might actually be the next big thing that you have coming. So don't just recreate. Make sure you create. Some people are masters at recreating. No, 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 no. You have to actually create. Don't just recreate. Also, I want you to be like this painter, Van Gogh. When all the painters in his own time, they were doing all of these things, he remained. He began a new movement. He started using bold colors. His brushwork was texturized. He focuses on emotion rather than just mere depiction. And that made him a great painter. The first painting you see up there is Starry Night by Van Gogh. It's a very, very unique and very valuable painting. And lastly, if you are watching this live, okay, by the 11th of May 2026, I want to invite you to join the creative writing workshop, also held by the Free Flow Creative Academy. Trust me, this is the 6th edition. And if you're a beginner writer, you're an intermediate writer, this is where you can get great value from. Okay? Teach you how to write well, how to craft like a professional. So I want you to register already before we say, okay, it's booked out or something. Just go ahead, go to the link on the screen right now and register, okay, so that you can join. Whether you are a fictional writer, you are a poet, there's a cohort for you to join. So make sure you do that. And with that, we've come to the end of this webinar. I want to thank you for listening. I'll be waiting for any questions in the comment section. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section and then we will address it. I think you have learned something today. I think you've learned something great today. And yes, don't just learn it. I want you to practice it and start bringing us original content, original outputs. And yes, till we meet again, we might have another guest for webinar 4.0. Watch out. We'll reach out to you. Have a great evening. Have a great evening.